I'll meet the order for the entire park district, July 18th, 2024.
Commissioner Carlson?
Good.
Commissioner Brad? Commissioner Magiera?
Here on the phone.
President Rivers?
I can take a motion to accept the minutes of the last meeting and board of commissioners at park district held on the 23rd of June 2024.
Commissioner Carlson?
Aye.
May?
Yeah.
Commissioner Brad?
Aye. Aye.
No guests to welcome. Number 4. The agenda.
Nope, there are no changes to the agenda.
So moved.
Commissioner Carlson?
Aye. Aye.
Commissioner Brad?
Aye.
Commissioner
Aye.
Well, item number 5, commissioner comments.
I got a couple. I remember trying to talk to the image that awesome spring show. 4th of July was, I couldn't believe how many people did you guys did a good job. The fireworks, I went home on the fireworks because how many people were there and really how packed it was. It was a good job with the fireworks and the concert.
Thanks, I'll let the staff know.
I agree with you with stuff, they have some kind of work. It was an awesome job. I mean, I saw so many applications that were right. I was going to take this opportunity to we discuss something about branding. I really feel that's something we should continue to do it. But Park does a great job of the big positive aspect of the city. But we should get some recognition moving forward.
I appreciate the work of the parks, how quickly it's being done. You know, construction projects, maybe it's apples and oranges, like road work lasts forever. And I think it's amazing how quickly this is done from real time. And right across the street of the church. It's really amazing. I don't know if they get benefit or if they get done earlier, if you're giving them some incentive for just how they work. But I got to say, parks is a good job done. And I've walked around there and stuff, and I'm able to, that part to see the new equipment. How it can work.
Yeah?
Bill, anything?
I'll just echo what everyone said. Aaron, I can't believe how quick that went up from the start to finish. And I haven't been back since it's opened, but I've been there, kind of drive by every week or every other week, and it looks so good. So, I just can't believe how fast it went up.
Right?
Yeah.
And hopefully your neighborhood's liking all of that as well.
Oh my gosh, all of that looks amazing. It looks really great. I know that there's a couple more things that have to be put in, but it looks really good. They did a great job.
Moving on, we're going to reports. I don't think the community report.
There is no report from the attorney.
Someone the financial report.
Yeah.
Entertain a motion to approve the San Francisco funds for the month of June 2024.
Make that motion.
Quick.
Okay, motion to accept, the expenses for June, $906,586.22.
Commissioner Carlson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fry?
Aye.
Aye.
Want to schedule a
Yes. So I know, I appreciate everyone's comments and everyone's positive feedback on our Independence Day celebration. I just thought, as well, it was a huge success. Our concert area was packed. The surrounding streets of the leisure center were packed. Families were picnicking in Shiloh Park, enjoying that. And I think there was a lot of positive feedback as well on social media. And just throughout the evening, it was a large crowd that enjoyed good music, good food, some entertaining games, and it was just a nice thing for the community and a nice way to bring the community together. It was safe. We didn't have any security issues, any concerns. I feel like people in attendance felt very safe. I thought the parks, both Shiloh Park and the Leisure Center, like all of our areas, were in outstanding condition. Grass was cut, things were trimmed back. All the little details that we try to get treated for mosquitoes before, all of those little things. So, anytime we're doing such a large event like that, it really is truly a team effort, right? And so we have a small team at the Park District, and larger, I guess, when you consider a lot of the part-time and seasonal help that we have. But to pull off something like that and to have it go so well, really is a tribute to the staff that we have, the department heads that we have, and their ability to work together and cooperate with each other, right? Because no one's going to enjoy themselves if the grass is 12 inches high, or if there's all kind of security issues and things like that. So it's more than just, one or two things that make that happen. And we really do have a special team, and I will, let them know that they are appreciated, and that the park board had a lot of positive things to say about what they're capable of accomplishing. The next part there that I would just like to mention is that the July is Parks and Recreation Month in the state of Illinois. So the Illinois General Assembly, at their spring session, adopted a House resolution and a Senate resolution, both unanimously approved by the Illinois House of Representatives and the Illinois Senate, that really champion the integral role that Parks and Recreation agencies play in Illinois. And so I think that's important to recognize because, one, it shows our industry advocate, which is IAPD, the Illinois Association of Park Districts, how much they do for park districts and how much they advocate and assist park districts with legislative issues. And then also to have that, unanimously passed and recognized down in Springfield, I think really shows legislators how important park districts are and how valuable park districts are in the state of Illinois. And that's beneficial, for all park districts when there's certain laws being created or mandates being created or funding when they're arguing over budgets and, should we take this contentious one always is the OSLAD funds, which is the Open Space Land Acquisition Development Funds. And, it's the legislators that have to ultimately approve the budget to appropriate those funds to park districts. Right? So we've been fortunate in the last 2 years to get an OSLAD grant for $400,000, an OSLAD grant for $600,000. So to have that support and recognition in Springfield, and for them to, say that July is Parks and Recreation Month, I think it's a great thing. And I think Illinois Park District, I know Bill was a big champion of it too, just how well Illinois does park districts. Other than that, those were the two main points that I wanted to touch on. Now that we're here in mid-July, I know we're talking about kind of June information, but the Park District really is in full swing. And we've got a lot of great things going on, in addition to just like everyday operations and how much interaction we're seeing of people enjoying the parks, the condition of parks, the programs that we're conducting. The recreation team that Kay leads, their Summer camps are full. Kids are having a great time in our summer camps. A lot of usage at the pool. Ton of play at our golf courses. Summer is very busy around here. We have about 180 people in total on payroll. I know we said we have a small team, but that's our small kind of core team of the full-time unit. That's 21 people. But yeah, we're fully geared up and probably right about the midpoint in our really busy summer season where we are just busy implementing the plan and all the planning of the fall and the winter and everything like that. So things are going really well, and again, hopefully the community appreciates and does find value in the Zion Park District. As we talked about in the financial, just to reiterate that, as we talked about in the finance meeting, the Park District comprises less than 7% of a resident's tax bill, so the Park District receives just under 7 cents of every dollar. And we manage and maintain over 825 acres of parkland, 2 golf courses, an outdoor pool, in total 5 major facilities, 23 neighborhood parks, and really work hard to just deliver value to them. That is all for my report.
I like the other thing you said about last 2 minutes. How do we package that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. One new business, I have approval of state park design for Great Park.
Yes, so included in the packet is a design for the skate park that we are proposing for David Park. You can see, scroll down to it. So as part of the OSLAG grant, one of the elements that we included in the grant was the skate park. And obviously there is a skate park out there now. And I've heard feedback from the community where people say, well, I hope we're not losing the skate park with this David Park renovation. And so, we are not, that's not the intention. You can see here the proposed plan for what will be about a 4,200 square foot custom made all concrete poured skate park. It starts on PDF page 67. Okay. So we have, this is a challenging one because not many companies can do this type of work. Rich and I actually visited Vernon Hills Park District 3 or 4 months ago. They have about a 6,000 square foot poured, fully poured concrete skate park. Talked to their executive director, their head of maintenance, as far as getting feedback on how much use does it get, what challenges do you have with it, how much did it cost, what's the maintenance requirements of it. And didn't really have any concerns, I don't think, coming out of that meeting as far as the maintenance guy had said, Rich, they've had it in place for about 3 years or something. They've had it in place for about 3 years, and even in, our climate of freezing and thawing and potentially rough winters, they have had no major significant issues with the build of it. The person or the company that built Vernon Hills was this company out of Oregon, Evergreen Skate Parks. We did reach out to them in conjunction with our landscape architect, Hitchcock Design. We reached out to them, and they're fully booked until 2026. They have enough water throughout the country until 2026. And so there were there were 2 other companies that Hitchcock Design was aware of that did this kind of specialty skate park work. One is American Ramp, and I don't remember the name of the other company because they were also booked out way into 2025. So we started working with American Ramp. They provided us a couple different conceptual designs. Our team, which was myself, Rich, Katie, Christine, our accounting manager, Esme, reviewed the different concepts that they proposed to us and really felt that this one was, kind of the coolest and the neatest. And we went back to them with a couple suggestions. So, for example, we kind of took a couple elements out of the other design and asked them to coordinate or implement into this new design. So, for example, on the other one, this large kind of bowl that they had that looks like a pool, it can also have like a higher ramp that comes out of the pool that's about 5 feet high or something. So we asked them if they could incorporate that into the design, and then asked them for a cost estimate on all of this, right? And so what they've told us is that we can accomplish what we're hoping here, what we've laid out, for a budget of $400,000. And initially in our grant budget, our skate park design budget for that element was $250,000. So we're talking about $150,000 more now than we had budgeted for when we wrote the grant. But we have since approached the city, the TIF committee at the city, the Tax Increment Finance Committee, because David Park isn't a TIF zone. So we asked the city if we could get TIF assistance, which is just financial assistance for David Park development. And I think the board, if you recall, approving our TIF application before we submitted it. So that application was for $300,000. It was approved by the TIF board, as a favorable project, and the TIF board is supportive of it. It just has to go before City Council for their final approval. They do feel relatively confident that it will get approved. The city administrator is in favor of it. So that will be his recommendation. The City Council is to approve it. So that gives us the additional funding plus some more, right? To be able to build this. Design here. So, because of the timelines and how we have to get back and work with the not only this American Ramp Company, but also coordinate it through our landscape architecture. What I'm asking for, what we're requesting at this point is approval of the overall concept and a budget not to exceed $400,000. So we can continue the process with the skate park company. Also, knowing that the whole project is under a time constraint under the athletic grant, which probably we're going to need to ask for an extension on that grant, but we're not even at the point yet where we could ask for an extension. They would know.
This is the same lane.
Um,
Found it on the,
For the skate park? Most likely, if I was having to place a bet right now, I don't think they would be able, so the grading has to happen, and the grading will happen like late summer, early fall, for DK Landscaping, landworks to get the grade and everything correct, but I don't think any concrete will be poured until 2025. Yeah, so, you're able to pour concrete in 2025. And we're still working with American Ramp to figure out where in the schedule. So I guess there's really two options that the park board could do at this point. They could decide and say, okay, we're comfortable with the design and a budget not to exceed that amount, or we want you to actually bring this back to us.
Hey Eric, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, do we have a plan B if city does not, or not city, the TIF board does not approve? Or did you get a city to approve it?
Yeah, if the city didn't approve it, we could look in our own budget and do a more thorough cash flow analysis. I'm relatively confident that we still could afford that additional $150,000 because there are things in the construction fund show that are budgeted that we can just kind of tap the brakes on right now and not do. So, for example, some of the things budgeted in the construction fund are the demolition of the Hebron building, and I think about $250,000. A park build, like another small park build. neighborhood of about 100,000. Repaving the Leisure Center West lot at about 115,000. So some of those things we can just hold off on, you know, and then kind of reallocate those dollars here. But I think also given that we really weren't anywhere near our contingency on Shiloh Park, so I feel like we have some additional dollars. And option C could be to just scale this down.
Thank you.
So the state park plan, does it displace any problem we have right now, or what we're looking for?
Yeah, if you go, Dave, to PDF page 71, which is kind of like after all the colorful drawings, you can see the overlay of the skate park
Yes.
on the overall site plan. So that's obviously the parking lot to the left, and the basketball courts and the soccer fields all start below that. What they were drawing there in blue was the potential regrading of what may be a required wetland area by stormwater management. So we do have a skate park out there now. That skate park area will be more of like where the basketball courts are, because the whole plan is really
Where would this,
where will it be placed at? It would go here toward the front of the park, on the east side of the parking lot. Yeah. And if you want, I can go to print out. I can print out the whole master plan to show you exactly how.
well, that's state.
Yeah.
I
So
was when the boy was on TV.
yeah. So I call it like the northeast quadrant.
Motion to approve the proposed skate park concept for the budget.
I will second that.
Commissioner Carlson?
Aye.
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 Commissioner
I,
We have a, item here for approval of tax for Representative Joyce Mason.
Yes. So that's PDF page 72. 72 out of 78. You can see the rendering of the plaque. So right now, if you were to look at Shadow Park Playground, there's the section that's foreign play and there's the section that's mulch. And then kind of in between those two, there's a circle with a tree in it. That tree, unfortunately, is recommended to be removed because it was probably not the healthiest tree going into this, and then our plan maybe to inject like vitamins or anything like that to try to save it and restore it probably went south when a lot of the roots were cut for the construction of all that concrete area and things like that. So now it's just the roots are cut and that tree needs to be removed. The contractor is going to provide us with a change order to install a flagpole there to remove that tree and replace it with a flagpole. And so what we would like to do, and that's also on the works, I haven't brought that to the board yet. Still trying to get pricing and everything on it. But so that's the thought, that's the plan down the road. And so this plaque then would be placed on either a concrete block or a stone. And again, just recognizing Joyce Mason for the $400,000 of funding that's she secured to help make Shiloh Park possible. I mean, this was years ago. I think Marilyn actually put in that request to Joyce probably in 2019, 2021. And Joyce was able to get that allocation. Representative Mason was able to get that allocation into the state's budget. And just in total, Representative Mason has been such a huge supporter and advocate of the Zion community. This is the plaque that we would like to place out there It's an 8-inch by 6-inch bronze plaque. So looking for the board's approval.
My question, campus time.
That is a good question. If I had to guess off the top of my head, based on some of the other bench plaques, I'd be thinking around $350. Yeah, less than $500.
We promote for approval of back for obtaining securing grant funding for partnership in the amount of $400,000.
Carlson?
Aye.
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 And the final item we have is ordinance number 914.
So, the property transfer ordinance number 914 is really, I would say, tying up a loose end on that Ebenezer property where we were looking to, or still intend to build the maintenance building down on the very east side there. It used to be the old cookie factory, I believe. And so, the Local Government Property Transfer Act, which I've learned from our attorney now, requires that not only does the city give you the property, but the park district also has to convey that it wants the property. So that's what this ordinance is effectively kind of declaring, that the park district wants the property. We were actually made aware of this requirement when the city tried to register the property with the county. And the county said, well, hang on, there's one more ordinance that's required. So the city has really passed the part on their side. I know we passed another ordinance at least a year and a half ago that said we were interested, but this is written by our attorney, and it really is kind of the final step in just requesting the 2 parcels of land down at Ebenezer. So I learned something on this one. Yeah. Well, they're adjacent, so it's 2 parcels of property that are right next to each other. But yes, it's two separate parcels. They're right. I mean, you know where they're at, Jess, right? And everyone knows. So actually, like, one parcel is here, and the other parcel is right there. They're about equal sized parcels.
So this is asking us for a transfer of property, 2 parcels. Real estate from us to the city.
From the city to we're saying that we do want it. From the city.
Okay, anything more than ordinance number 914, but the transfer of 2 parcels of land from the city to land.
Second.
Carlson?
Aye.
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 That appears to be the last item we have. We have left is the adjournment.